Hey guys, my name is Florian Meindl, and we're here in my basement studio in Berlin. Well, I started as a DJ when I was like 14, and it was just a hobby. But in the age of 17, I thought I need to take the next step, and I decided to produce music. And that was the time when the analog stuff kind of went away and the digital stuff like computers replaced the game of producing music. And I couldn't afford analog gear at that time anyways, and I didn't know much about it. I knew acid, but I didn't knew that it was made from the 303, and I knew the 909 drums, but I didn't know how to do it. So I started kind of from zero with a computer, and I think it was a demo version of Reason, but Reason was it was alright at that time, but it was just copying the analog world. And then I met a friend who used a program called Cubase, and from then on I was continuously using it. And all my analog equipment just happened to appear 2 years ago. So before I was only producing digitally. I was always in front of the computer at the afternoon, office stuff, managing my label, my loops label, my music label, and communicating with people with the mouse, with the keyboard. And at night I was producing music, and it was the same. Yeah, I had controllers, MIDI controllers and stuff, but I wanted to explore some different fields, and I remember it started with actually with the 10 spear. The 10 spear kind of opened my mind to the analog world, because it was so different from the digital stuff. All the sounds, each hi-hat sounds a bit different than the one before, and because it's fully analog, it's not digital modeling, it's fully analog. And then I quickly discovered modular systems, and yeah, I started with one case. Very quickly after 3 months I had another one, and the next one is already planned. I tried other sequences as well, but I just didn't need more. So I wanted to do weird modulations, and that was quite difficult in Cubase. So I could do this in Reactor or some programs like this, but then I discovered modular systems, and you can connect everything with everything. So I decided to combine those two worlds together. Okay, it's recording. So let's take the clock signal into the clock divider, and let's take each beat to the kick drum. Then the kick drum audio out into the mixer. Okay, here we go.
So that's an MFP module.
Yeah, that's essentially the 10 spear, the drum machine, one of the drum machines from MBF, into separate modules. And the cool thing is you can modulate all individual things like attack, decay, etc. So I could modulate this movement. take now the trigger signal again here and put it into a 909 kick drum. That's a from Tip Top Audio 909 kick drum. Trigger in to the mixer, and it's here we go. Okay, I want to color that sound from the 909 a little bit, so I go. That's actually a ring modulator with tubes, but I can use it also as a sort of distortion. Let's have a listen how it would sound. Yeah, it gives it nice overtones. I think we route it through a filter first. A low pass filter, so I'll take the low end. So that's the full signal. So I'll only take a little bit of the sub frequencies here. Give it a little bit more attack. Yeah. So that's our kick drum. Okay, so we recorded the basic kick drum. Let's get. So we're hearing what we recorded just now, and I'll add a hi-hat. Okay, let's bend it in the middle. I'll take the trigger and trigger the snare drum as well to have a bit more bite to the kick drum. The rough kick in the background is recorded already, so we're just hearing what I did before. Okay, that's the snare drum. Let's process this with a little bit of distortion. take the unprocessed snare, put it to channel 2. And then I'll take the processed signal to my spring reverb and mix it in on channel 3. By the way, so it's giving it the signal in to the spring and taking the signal back to the module. Okay, I'll record a little take now. Okay, then I need an organic take modulated by an LFO, because when I move this, I can also let it be moved by an LFO, and that's what we do now. So I go to snap in, so every now and then the LFO modulates that and makes it longer. And we can do the same with the hi-hat, but with another LFO. Then we can do a little modulation to the sound of the reverb. I'll take the same signal like for the snare. So every time the snare gets longer, the reverb is getting distorted. So we'll do another take on that. Okay, now we need a little bit of busyness in the bass area. I would say I do this with toms. So I'll give the trigger from the pattern generator to the toms and to the mixer. Okay, let's divide the audio signal and put it into this distortion. The distortion in the background on the kick is from the other take, so that's not what you're hearing now, by the way. So I'll go, yeah, let's have a listen how this sounds like. This through the filter again. And I'll also divide the trigger signal and take some more triggers from here. Okay, let's record the last layer, which will be the virus. A basic chord from the virus. That's the virus. I go in here. it goes through my SSL clone compressor, then to the join meek, and back to channel 7 and 8. Okay, now we've got all the elements except the chords. I programmed a little basic pattern, and I'll record a little take now. Okay, so we've got a few takes with organic modulations. We've got a kick, toms, hi-hats, cymbals, and a basic chord loop. So let's put that into Loopmash and see what's coming out. I tend to build loops with everything inside, like overfilled loops with pads and chords and everything. And then I make different parts. Like I try to build a main loop, and then I figure out how a break could sound. Like I put out the kick drum and add some other effects. So it all starts from a very full and good sounding loop, and then I would arrange it and cut out more things towards the beginning and the end, and that's why it works very well with my analog way of working, because I would do kind of the same and record it with 8 channels. So I would have a channel with a synthesizer and some nice chords. I would have the beat maybe divided into 2 parts, maybe in a kick part and top loop part, and so I end up with 4 layers in Cubase, and then I would cut it, and I would like record different stems with a bit more hi-hats, less, and so I end up with different parts, and which I would arrange afterwards in Cubase. So that's my way of working. I tend to sync it with Cubase, so I give out a MIDI signal, a MIDI clock, to the modular system. And with the modular system you can give away gates very easily. So I give a gate to the 10 spear or to the mini brute or to some other stuff. So the heart of the sync is Cubase, and everything syncs to it, and I record it with 8 layers, which I can afterwards process in Cubase and also route to the mixer. Yeah, that's kind of how I work. So I use both things. I use things of both worlds. Like I tend to record everything very dry and then use reverb from Cubase or compressors. So I don't do everything with hardware, because I think the most important thing is having the sound source analog to have that organic sounds. But when it comes to dynamic processing and reverbs, I'm fine to use digital things. Then let's do a rough mix of the single elements, because the balance is not right yet. Let's start with the kick drum. I'll choose the part which I want to import into Loopmash. I would say we go for a pattern without snare drum, because we've got enough other elements, and I think it would not work that great with the chords. So let's cut out 2 bars here maybe. I'll make a little fade so it doesn't click. The right channel is a bit louder, so I'll put it a bit to the left. And I'll put channel strip from UAD, and before that an SSL compressor. I'll set the attack time to about, to as long as possible, which is 30 milliseconds. So the transients can come through very well. Release time to 0.3 maybe. Let's have a listen. Okay. Give it a little bit more bass with the equalizer here. And I'll add a little bit of reverb from this spring reverb emulation. I'll take away some heights. And I'll take away the bass below 90 Hertz. Here we go, that's our kick drum loop. On the master channel I've got a limiter. So I'll kind of normalize it now. Okay, that's alright. So I'll export this to another folder. So that's our kick loop, 24 bits, 44 kilohertz. Export. That's a good loop. I'll take away the sub bass here with an equalizer. Everything below 120 Hertz, because there's a lot of rumble from the spring reverb, which we want to have a fatter sound. And we can see in the analyzer here, it's a bit too much here. I'll give it a few more 12K. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. I'll export that loop, so that's our hi-hat loop. Okay. record. Okay, I'll take away some sub-frequencies. We recorded this already through the SSL and the Joy-Meek, but I'll cut off the transients a little bit. And give it a little bit more mids, like 1.5K, and a little bit of, yeah, and a 3 dB boost above 4K. Let's see how that sounds with the other stuff. Okay. Okay, the virus take will be significantly longer than the other loops because there's so much going on. So that will be 16 bars. Then we've got the random symbol fill. Yeah, with the modulations. I'll take a 32 bar loop. Give it a sharp low cut. Yes. That's the symbols. That's our tom loop. Okay, we got everything for Loopmash. So let's open Loopmash and create something new. So we've got all the loops. So I'll set up a Loopmash channel. It's a normal instrument channel. Here we go. I'm used to Loopmash 1 and that's Loopmash 2. And I have to admit I never used it yet. But it looks very familiar though. Let me see. Okay, there are a few new features. Anyways, let's just try it. Okay, I would say that's our first pattern. So I'll save these settings to place 1. Okay. That's pattern 2 when the chord comes in. So we can switch between pattern 1 and 2 already. Or pattern 3. 6. Okay, let's see how that works together. So now we've got our patterns, and here in the performance mode, I can trigger those performances with the MIDI keyboard. Okay, cool. Let's listen to that again. I think there were some interesting parts inside. It was basically just a jam session, but let's cut out some cool parts. I would say let's route that through my compressors again, and then I'll cut out the cool pieces and mix it with the other recordings I did with the modular system. Then we will end up with a really cool sketch, I think. I'm looking for the cool bits I did with the performance mode, and then we will mix it with the other layers from the modular system. So. I'll keep this for a very basic kick loop. This is a cool part as well. keep this cut. Maybe we will put this underneath the other stuff later. That's a good loop. This part is nice as well. That's a nice transition part. Okay, cool. We came up with really nice loops with that technique, and I would say let's mix those with layers we've got from the modular system already to have a nice sketch of a whole track. So I'll loop these kicks here. Yeah, that sounds like a nice beginning. Let's put that at the beginning, like this. Then I'll take the chord we have recorded with the virus originally and put that underneath probably. Let's put these layers away. So. Hi-hat in the background. give the different kinds of loops from the Loopmash different colors. Let's make this one red, so the break is red. Then it returns to the kick drum, and another evolving patch from the virus. Yeah, you can see they work together very well, and that's how I would create a track now if we would have more time.